Hi there. Today we're diving into how to calculate marginal probability of default, or PD, from cumulative PD. We'll go step by step, starting with the relationship between these two concepts, and then move on to examples. Let's start by understanding the relationship between cumulative and marginal PDs. Cumulative PD is the total probability of default happening by a specific time, say the end of a year. It reflects how the probability builds up over time. On the other hand, marginal PD zooms in on a single period like a specific year or quarter and tells us the probability of default during just that time frame. Essentially, cumulative PD looks at the big picture while marginal PD focuses on a single slice of time. Next, how do we calculate marginal PD from cumulative PD? To figure out the marginal PD for a specific period, we look at how much the cumulative PD has increased compared to the previous period. Then, we adjust this increase by accounting for the chance of surviving up to the start of that period. This gives us the likelihood of default for that particular time frame. Now let's interpret this step further. The difference in cumulative PD between two periods tells us how much the risk of default increased during that time. And survival probability? That's just the chance of making it to the beginning of the time period without any default. So the marginal PD combines these two ideas to give us a clear picture of default risk for a specific period. Now let's talk about how to apply this process. It's really straightforward and involves just two key steps. First, you begin with the cumulative PD values for each time step. These values represent the overall probability of default up to that specific point in time. Next, calculate the marginal PDs for each period one at a time. To do this, look at how much the cumulative PD has increased compared to the previous step and adjust for the survival probability up to that point. By doing this step by step, you can determine the default probability for each individual period. Let's take a simple example. Suppose the cumulative PD for year 1 is 5%. Since this is the first period, the marginal PD is also 5%. Moving to year 2, the cumulative PD increases to 8%. The marginal PD for year 2 is the difference between 8% and 5%, adjusted by the survival probability up to the start of year 2. When calculated, it's around 3.16%. Finally, for year 3, the cumulative PD reaches 12%. Again, we calculate the marginal PD by taking the difference from year 2 and adjusting it for the survival probability. This gives us a marginal PD of about 4.35%. And there you have it. By understanding the relationship between cumulative and marginal PDs and applying this step-by-step method, you can calculate default probabilities for specific time periods with ease. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.